I think we've just learned, we lock him away, and we can enjoy our holiday.
Exactly. Hi guys! It's been a little while since our last video, and as you may know, we went on holiday and we had quite an eventful holiday with regards to Momo, even though he wasn't there with us, and we wanted to tell you all about it. So a couple weeks ago we went to the coast, and it was the first time ever that my mom came with us, and we went on holiday together, which means that she wasn't the one watching over the animals, and instead we asked my little sister to come by and stay in the house and take care of everybody while we're away. And she's been coming to visit for years, so we assumed that it wouldn't be a problem. However, we didn't take into consideration that Momo is a very difficult cat. So we left home on a Saturday morning, and it's about a 6-hour drive to get to the coast.
7 or 8, okay.
Realistically. So it's quite far. And we arrived there, my little sister moved into the house that afternoon, and the first evening I obviously called to make sure everything was alright, and she told me that everybody had been fed except for Momo, who she couldn't find.
I feel like we need to add that before we left, we made a whole list of what to do, labeled all the food bowls, put nice little notes everywhere for her, so we were really well organized and planned out for our trip.
I'm very pedantic about the care of our animals, so I really, I don't want to say dumb-proofed, but I really dumb-proofed the whole care of the animals. I basically made a care sheet and labeled everything so that it would be as easy as humanly possible for someone to understand how to do what we do every day. And so yeah, the first evening Momo just didn't pitch, which is very odd because he's usually in the house all the time. But we thought, okay, well, maybe he's just readjusting and it's not the end of the world. And we let it be.
She did also feed them a lot earlier than what we usually do. We usually feed them quite late in the evening, sort of 8:30ish, and she had tried to feed them she fed the other cats at 6:30, I think, so for Momo it was already a bit weird. He's very routine driven, so this was already out of his normal routine.
We also have to add that she did adopt recently, as you saw in one of our videos, a puppy who then came to stay with her in the house, which, you know, the added smell and so on may have freaked Momo out a little bit as well. So at first, the first evening he didn't pitch to have dinner, so we asked her to wait a little and then try again. So she tried to catch him to possibly lock him into the bathroom so that he would be forced to eat, so to say. And that must have really freaked him out, because apparently he even weed on her a little bit, which he had never done before, ever, on a human. And we assume that this was a bit of a traumatic situation for him, because then the next morning he was hiding behind our little garden shed and refused to come out altogether. And so he didn't eat at all, as far as I remember, on the Sunday.
Yeah, the Saturday since we left. So we fed them Saturday morning, and that was his last meal, basically.
So then by Sunday evening, I was at the coast really, really anxious, because now the cat had gone over 24 hours without eating. The next morning, she saw that he was in the house, but the moment she stepped into the house, he would run out and go hide behind the shed again. So Monday morning came, he still hadn't eaten anything, and he still refused breakfast, and he was hiding the moment she would step into the garden. And so thankfully we thought of a possible solution, which was to use our cat door or our house as a giant cat trap. So we asked her to close all of the windows and set the cat door to entry only. That way we thankfully on Tuesday morning, because she closed the cat door was closed in the evening, so that because he would obviously only go into the house at night. So Tuesday he went the entire day without eating as well? No, Monday. Monday, the entire day without eating. Then Tuesday morning, he
Was trapped
was
inside.
trapped inside, thankfully.
And we can also add that it rained pretty much all of Monday, so he was stuck outside, behind the shed, in the rain, probably very miserable.
In the cold, away from the other cats. I
Alone.
mean, by choice. He could have gone inside. He just decided that was the safest spot for him to hide. And so by Tuesday morning, he was then locked in the house, and she managed to get him into our bedroom. And from then on, she managed to feed him in there, and we kept him in the bedroom with a litter box and a water bowl and his food for the rest of the trip. Yeah, so basically we wanted to tell you the story so that you can see that even when you pre-plan everything for your holidays, unexpected things can happen and complications can arise, and thankfully we managed to sort it out, even though I was pretty much ready to get in the car and drive back. Thankfully we managed to find a solution, and from now on we'll know that if it ever happens again that both us and my mom go on holiday together, we will have to lock Momo in a singular room so that he doesn't drive his pet sitter mad. And then, since we returned, he was very, very happy. So my mom got back 48 hours before us. And she obviously came to check on him, and she let him out of the room the moment she came in. And he was so happy to see her, and she sent us videos and called us to tell us that he was purring like mad, and he was like nibbling on her feet, and he basically wouldn't let her leave. And then when we came home, he was a little frightened at first, which was funny. I think he kind of assumed that because we came in together that we may be strangers, and then he realized it was us, and then he also lost his mind. And he basically followed me around for 48 hours afterwards. Toby unfortunately had to go on a work trip right after we came back, so Momo couldn't really cuddle with him. But he was basically my shadow. Every time I would sit somewhere, he would be on my lap. Every time I would stroke him, he would go mad purring, which is not really what he usually does. And yeah, he's been really affectionate and really sweet, and he's bounced back really, really nicely. We were a little worried that his urinary tract infections might come back due to the stress, but he seems to be taking it in his stride. So even though it was quite a stressful beginning to our holiday, we managed to enjoy the last week of it, and thankfully we've learned our lesson now.
For me, it was super interesting because we thought we had prepared for pretty much any scenario, but this was the last thing that we thought would happen, because we thought, he'd eat either way. I mean, I was never really worried that he'd let himself starve to death or anything.
I was.
Because he's healthy and everything, so he won't let himself starve. I think there's no animal. I know that for cats it's unhealthy for them to not eat, but I don't think any animal will let themselves starve to death if they're healthy and stuff. So maybe it's just, I don't know.
I think Toby is a much more logical person in those situations, where I have raging anxiety issues. So I was ready after day 2 to get back in the car and drive those 6 to 8 hours back home so that I could take care of him. Whereas Toby was taking a more logical approach and telling me, just hold on, just wait, let's find a solution from here that your sister can deal with. And in the end, we managed to do that, and we didn't have to drive back. And thank God my sister was a champ and took it all in stride as well, and was happy to try whatever we told her to do, and dealt with the fact that I was a terrible helicopter mom for 3 days.
Yeah, like I obviously felt bad for him for having such a bad experience, but in the end, it all worked out. We had a good time. He's obviously back to normal, lying there, cleaning himself.
And all our other pets did very, very well. Especially our pit bull Sasha was obviously thrilled because she had a little brother there to entertain her. And all the other cats, everybody was taken care of, and nobody really cared much that we were gone, apparently. So it was really just Momo who was being a difficult little boy. As usual, hey, mister? I'm gonna poke you.
He doesn't seem to care.
He's gonna care when I do this. Yeah, I've broken his tiny trust. So there you go, guys. Just a little update on how our holiday went, and just to show you that even when you've had pets all your lives and you take someone you trust to take care of your pets,
And you think you know what might happen.
and you've prepared for every scenario you think may happen, sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And you end up having a bit of a rough time. But in the end, it's definitely worth it. And we discussed this while we were on holiday as well, how pets do make it more difficult to go on holiday. And sometimes even when you're on holiday, they can cause trouble. But I think compared to the joys of actually having them all of your life, or all of their life.
Yeah, but like before we left, I was saying like it would be so much easier to just not have pets. But then at the same time, you think you go on holiday, 4 weeks out of the year or something, maybe a bit more. But all the time in between would be totally boring without pets. So in the end, it is worth it.
Exactly. I wouldn't trade it. I would rather stay at home and cut out my holidays than not have pets for the rest of the year. At least that's my personal opinion.
I think we've just learned, we lock him away, and we can enjoy our holiday.
Exactly. And as we said, it doesn't happen that often that we all go on holiday together. Usually my mother would be the one pet sitting, and Momo adores her, so there's no problem when it's her. Because we have gone away before, and she was the one watching him, and we had no issues whatsoever. So we'll just have to plan better and learn from our mistakes. And if you guys have ever experienced anything like this, or want to tell us the stories of how you deal with going away while you have your pets at home, please tell us in the comments, and we look forward to reading your stories.
And we promise it won't be 3-4 weeks between videos again.
Yeah, we'll do better this time.
We'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.
Bye.
Oh, and don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any uploads. And also go check us out on Instagram at Mo the Siamese. Cheers.